Heather, I think you referenced this a little bit in the first juncture there, the first segment, but a lot of talk about critical minerals these days, lithium, cobalt, etc., and their connection to electric vehicle battery production. What's your take on Canada's ability to be part of that supply chain at present?
So geologically, we have, top ability in the world. Recognized the Fraser Institute survey of mining companies just came in. Everyone's looking to Canada geologically. We know it's there. We have all 31 minerals that we identify as critical. So obviously, we're the second biggest country. Just naturally, we have the most, second most geology. So it all exists. So it's really a matter of the cost. Can we do it? Can we get these commodities out and sell it on a global market at prices that people can afford to buy them? And that's the big question of the energy transition is, can we make renewables? Can we make low carbon? Can we make nuclear cheaper than coal and oil? Because, maybe in North America and Europe, we can afford to pay that premium. But for about 7 billion people in the world, they will just choose the cheapest source of energy. So we have that ability. Have we been doing it? In fact, we're actually the eighth largest, mining country in the world.
Right.
So we punch pretty well below our weight. Australia, United States, Russia, and then of course China is number one. And those are the other four biggest countries in the world. So Canada's punching below our weight. And it's not getting better. And this is some Natural Resources Canada data just came out last month, their annual inventory. We're actually producing less critical minerals in 2022 than we did in 2019. Less copper, less nickel, less graphite, less platinum group, less uranium, the list goes on. Producing more gold. Because a lot of investors want to get into gold in this era of uncertainty. But we are actually going in the wrong direction in our production of critical minerals.
So I guess that begs a question, and I know we've talked about the regulatory and legislative hurdles in the first segment, but what do governments need to do better to make this a reality? And let me just say, we're here in Ontario. Ford government keeps saying Ontario is open for business. Big announcement about the Volkswagen plant in St. Thomas, EV production and batteries, and yet we actually don't have the materials here. Does that mean we're going to get it from China? Is that going to actually increase the vulnerability of this country? We know we've got this terrible relationship with the Chinese after a number of incidents, including the latest with MP Mike Chong. So there's, we don't have a great relationship with them, and so we do need alternative supply sources for this. So I guess coming back to my original question, what do we need to do better? What do governments need to do better, provincial governments and federal government, to make this more of a reality?
Yeah, so you're highlighting the scope of the problem. And I think in the last year, there's been an awakening that we need critical minerals for the energy transition. The International Energy Agency says we need 6 times more mining production. For some of the critical minerals like lithium, it's multiples of that, 10, 20, 40 times more. So what is the number one thing that would, get that investment going, get these mines built, is reducing the timelines. And I think people need to appreciate we are in an era of high interest rates. And that means the difference between a mine that takes 10 years to develop and a mine that takes 15 years to develop, that 5 years of extra years of carrying those capital costs, we're talking about tens, in some cases, hundreds of millions of dollars. That's one of the reasons why TMX, for example, had its cost just ballooned. The cost of the delays, for TMX, we're talking billions of dollars, the cost of delay. So if Canada is serious about getting these critical minerals developed, of attracting the investment and providing that, that alternative to China in the supply chain, we must reduce the timelines. And investors have to be confident that it's not just words, that there's actually a plan in Ottawa to reduce those timelines and coordinate with the provinces.
Do you think that this Volkswagen plant could act as a catalyst to do that?
I would say that I have heard from this Liberal government since the Ukraine war, a different tone and a positive, welcoming message for critical minerals. And they've invested in critical minerals. But we're still, in my mind, at the point of the rhetoric. We still are at the point of the plan. We are not at the point where they have concrete suggestions of how they're going to reform the permitting system, how they're going to reduce those timelines. So from an industry, a proponent perspective, an investor perspective, it's nice to hear those things. They don't see that that's saving them any money yet. We are seeing, and I wanted to mention this, Canada is leading the world right now in exploration.
Right.
People that do want to invest in mining, they are looking at Canada.
Let's talk about exploration. We're going to take
Yeah.
another brief break. That very important point. We'll be right back with that after this message. Thank you.